Create a revolved solid. In this video, we'll create a revolved body. In Fusion 360, we want to carry on with our gear reduction housing solids. We've already added geometry to the front cover that allows us to hold the 5mm thick bearing. But we need to do the same to the back. So first, let's go in and let's rename some of these bodies. Body 5 will be front cover. Body 2 will be front housing. And body 1 will be back housing. Now we want to focus our attention on the back housing, so we're going to hide the front cover and the front housing. We're going to use a revolve to create the geometry to hold the bearing on the back side. We could do this with another extrude, but let's take a look at this other tool. We're going to select Sketch, and we want to select our YZ plane. I'm going to use the Slice option so I can take a look at the geometry on the inside. I'm going to begin by sketching a line. I'm going to drag this out to the right-hand side and then hit Escape. Select the line, and I'm going to make it a center line. Next, I'm going to rotate the housing slightly. Go to Create, Project Include, and Intersect. I want to grab some references from the surrounding geometry, such as the inside diameter of this bore and the outside face, and say OK. From a right view, now I have some geometry that I can snap to. We're going to start with the line tool, noting that the hole here is already 21mm. So we're going to carry this out, come in toward the center, and then begin drawing and dragging out until we have this L shape. Now we're going to use our dimension tool to apply some dimensions. The distance between these two edges is going to be our housing thickness. So we're going to start typing housing and then select the housing wall thickness parameter. We're going to do the same thing on this end. Once again, beginning to type in housing. Next, we need to have the diameter of the opening, which is going to be 10mm. Because we defined the construction line as a center line, noting that it already gives us this as a diameter value and not a radius. So I simply need to enter 10 and say OK. Next, we need to make sure that we have 5mm for the bearing. So we're going to come in and manually add that 5mm and then finish our sketch. Now that we have our completed sketch, we can go to Create and Revolve. Because that was our only closed sketch profile, it automatically selects it for us in the center line, creating the geometry. We're going to join it with the surrounding body. And then we want to bring back our front housing and our front cover. We'll go to Inspect, Section Analysis, and we want to use the left click to select YZ. We're going to view this from the right, and we'll say OK to create our section view. Now we're beginning to see the shape of our housing, and in this case you can see that we have area for the large gear on the right-hand side, area for the smaller gear and all the idle gears on the left-hand side, and 3 positions for bearings that have a 21mm OD, a 5mm thickness, and then they have a 12mm ID. This will be able to support the 10mm input and output shafts that we need. And also note that one of these gears will also contain a bearing to help support the other, because we need to make sure that the shafts are concentric but not connected. Let's navigate to a home position, expand the analysis folder, and let's hide our section view. Let's make sure that we do save this design before moving on.